And welcome.
Hello.
Nightmare.
No! Not
What?
this time.
Here we are again.
Take two.
And we have
Or
a
something.
new background image.
We do.
Cool. That's very cool.
Oh, that's actually very nice.
Nice.
New background, same old faces.
Yes. Or rather, same handsome faces.
Ooh.
No, wait, what?
We're not
And a dog.
old.
Yes, that thing. None of us are old. Except I feel it in my bones. No, wait, what? I don't know where that went. That
No,
was
don't worry
weird.
about that.
Yes. And some of us don't even have bones, dear Warforged.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Well, technically, we do have a skeletal structure, just not the same type of material.
Frames.
As you
Some sort of
said.
frame or something.
Not necessarily made of organic bone matter.
Yes,
Yeah.
that thing.
Exactly.
And usually not because, like,
Calcium,
what?
we have a lot of iron.
Like doing this sort of from a loganic philosophy. Why would you have bone when you could have metal or like?
And think of it this
something?
way.
I don't.
See, a bone in your body, a bone on your skeleton is better than a bone in a hand.
That's true. Yeah. Anyways, welcome back to the Chronicles of Lumainvoir. I am the eternal GM Haggis, and with me we are continuing the epic journey of the Emissaries, who are basically, well, they started as a group of freelance mercenaries working for the Church of Homnold, for the main church of Lumainvoir, and now they are something else.
Very much something else.
Most
Oh,
of
yes.
the priestly influences have been left out, and now that there are very little like divine intervention, we have more time for shenanigans.
We've
'Cause as
also
we've
been
seen-
through some interesting party shuffles, because I'm actually the only original character left. So,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
or
I
mine
mean,
is the only original character
yes.
left.
Kintsugi has been around for as long, but in the other group. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. I was with Father Grey back then, and
then
Yeah.
Father Screw grade you over.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
I still
Yeah.
haven't forgiven him for that.
Yep. So, anyways, technically, Almond, the quote-unquote party leader, has a standing with the Church of Omnold. So you guys do have some like possibilities for like getting sanctuary or sleeping spaces from the church space. But yeah, you guys are in the southwest corner of the island. You have reached the small province of Reedhold, which has like millennia or centuries ago, depends on who's counting, been an independent state, but now it's an official part of the theocracy of Lumainvoir. The reason why you went there is because originally you were searching for Kintsugi's pieces, because they have been lost. Kintsugi is basically a sentient artifact, and as the player likes to say, heartbroken.
Yeah, pretty much so.
Yep.
One hag.
Yeah. So you met a hag, and like that always goes. The deal went well. Oh, sorry, into a well.
Yeah.
Well of night, and yeah, you've gotten some help from a totally normal human-looking male called Almond, who's, like I said, he's somewhat of a party face and officially, like, from an official point, yeah, party leader, but pretty much a democracy at the moment.
Yeah, based on the fact that the last session was literally 2 hours of us discussing what we want to do as a group, I'd say that I am first among equals at best.
Yes,
So,
yes. Although because you are going to the University of Reedhold, where T.B. Belmont is known as Professor Belmont, you've gotten outranked.
Also, we're splitting the party into 2 parts, which means we're basically
Don't you know?
we're
You never
probably
split the
going to
party.
be exactly. So we're headed down
Always
a
a
path
great
where
idea.
this campaign will probably be over by June because we're all going to be TBK'd. So
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, so the second reason why you're going to Reedhold, or the University of Reedhold, is to find out a certain individual called Inken, who is Yewande's cousin. Yewande being this wood elfy druid person with an in real life animal familiar. Yewande's family is the other side of the family is a very wealthy merchant family, and the other is a monk tribal unit. And the individual known as Inken has some plan of basically ripping the family apart, or the families apart, and making this sort of into a Romeo and Juliet sort of situation. And you really want to stop that, so your plan is to head to the University of Reedhold, or the University of Gaishosai, the city called Gaishosai, where you last seen Inken, and can find some way to find the guy, or at least make his life miserable.
Or end it. That's also an option.
It's always
Yeah.
an option.
Yep. Yes, and last session you were in Almond's parents' mansion. Almond's family is known as this sort of troubleshooting family, that you have some sort of trouble, you have some issue with someone, you pay Almond's family, and then the issue go away. Well, the issue is that depends on how much you want to pay for it, but like in theory, they can make any issue go away. And at the moment you are in, or rather Almond's parents suggested that you save Yewande's families because you guys are childhood friends. And I don't think I missed anything, but if you have if you guys have anything to add, or if any watchers have questions, just ask me on the Twitch chat, and I will make my best to answer every question.
So far we have the plan to do the classic never do this trick, which is called party splitting. We have we have a sneaking division, and then we have the people who will simply waltz in through the front gates. So we'll see how that goes.
Yep.
And then there's the one that's gonna give their body to science.
Yes.
Yes.
The
So the
offering.
plan. Yes. So the plan is that you have Kintsugi, you have Professor T.B. Belmont, and her research assistant Yewande. You have unearthed a great relic, Kintsugi, and you're taking it to the university to be studied because, well, that doesn't need any line because Kintsugi is an sentient artifact. While these make a sort of diversion, you have Saxton and Almond making a stealthier infiltration to the university library.
In my notes, I named them Team Fancy Wagon
Yes,
and Team Sneak Wagon.
Yes.
Fancy Wagon and Sneak
Read
Wagon.
these names, but
Exactly.
oh well.
And
Yep.
once we get to run away from that place, it will be called Team Speedwagon.
There it was.
Beautiful.
Wonderful.
I need to write those down because those are amazing.
Wait a minute. There are horses, right, that are taking us to that place? Or what animals are the ones that are driving the carriage?
Yeah, so you have the fancy wagon, which is from Almond's father, is drawn by a blitzer called Falcon. Blitzers are basically armored fantasy rhino-like creatures. And then you have Team Stealthy Wagon, which is basically the sort of pioneer style hooded cart drawn by an elk and a horse.
Oh boy.
We have
Did I
an
have-
elk.
No, I don't
Yeah.
have it right now. I was for a moment thinking that maybe...
So-
Almond's
A new one.
family has everything.
Yeah, but like we had to return Gertrude, so obviously we're.
Yeah, it's sorry, bro, but wrong elk.
Mm.
Gertrude is at the moment in Fall Leaf Sanctuary. But I mean, you could send for her, but it might take a while. But yeah, you have some random elk and a random horse that you rented from Garaboche, which is Western Province capital. And last time you slept in Almond's parents' Almond's family's fancy mansion. It's like this hundreds of square meters big fortress mansion thing in the basically middle of the wilds. And from there you took. It's a 2 days ride from Almond's parents or Almond's family mansion to Gaishosai, and in the first and only night you will sleep in a shrine upkept by Yawanda's father's clan. And the shrine itself is upkept at the moment by one of Yawanda's father's clan's parents. I had the name right here. I'll find it later. But anyways, he's a balding elven male with braided hair and wooden bracelets and earrings. The shrine itself is a small stone building, about 5 times 5 meters, and is covered by the tree roots of a fruit tree growing over the stone shrine building. And the shrine itself is built out of hand-shaped stone blocks, which are pretty much the size of a fist. The shrine has a small secondary building with sleeping quarters for about 8 people in 4 levels of hammocks. And then there's a stone fire pit and some fruit trees. Found a cat.
Aww.
And around the... Thanks, honey. And around the shrine buildings, there's like fruit trees, because it's a very tropical area. Although there's some warmth emanating from the shrine itself, because there's geothermal activity. But because winter is coming, most of the fruits have been harvested. And in this location, you rest up here for the night. And I believe Kintsugi does the shenanigans with your...
Yeah, literally breaking apart like the upper shell. Like Kintsugi is basically a warforged with a mechanical body underneath, while on the top layer there's like sort of like dark stone or porcelain almost. And that part, the porcelain parts, they start to break. For example, taking a piece from the jaw, so actually for the first time their mouth is visible. Maybe it's a bit of a mechanical skeletal looking. And then a couple of chest pieces off, like breaking into parts, and a few arm and leg pieces, just to make it look more broken and old.
I'll show my way out now, so bye!
Bye bye.
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 See you soon.
I'll see her out.
Yeah.
Music.
Actually, Kintsugi might look like a broken animatronic right now.
But
I can
after
totally
you've
see it.
animated, from the description, obvious fact that Kintsugi is a warforged, and after you've animated the parts, you can put them back on location, so they can detach when needed.
At will. Though,
Yep.
I might give a few just in case for Saxon party, just in case.
Yep.
As sort of messengers.
Yep. Just as a quick sort of reminder for the viewers, Yawande is a foresty-looking elf with braided hair and well, looks like she haven't spent time in a city in forever. Almond is a beardless man, a beardless handsome man that looks very basic, unless he shifted into the lycanthrope form with wolfish features. Tibby is an adventurous-looking halfling archaeologist, and Saxton is dressed in a very fancy cloak with colorful patches, a Venetian mask, and underneath they are warforged. So, yeah. Unless I've forgotten something, this is the way.
You know the way?
The way.
This is the way. Okay then. So, yeah, you animate your bits and pieces, and Saxton, you had some plans of trying to communicate with your sword.
Yes.
So, a couple of sessions back, you found this approx 80 centimeter tall, one-edged, curved blade made entirely out of a bone-like substance, except for the fact that it's insanely sharp and sentient. But otherwise, like normal bone.
Completely normal talking bone.
Yes.
A magical bone.
Yeah, like a certain other magical bone.
Yep.
How
As
is
far as you know,
the Crux doing, by the way?
As far as you know, they're from the basically same source.
Mm-hmm.
Crux has been in a little bit of a sleep mode because, well, you haven't actually asked.
Yeah, I haven't even fed him, I guess. Or it.
Before I start working on the sword.
Yep.
Once I enter whatever room I have for myself.
I mean, you are outside in a shrine building. There's very little privacy, so you need to step to inside, like the forested areas around you.
Oh yeah. Somewhere where I think no one will see me. For a while.
Yep.
I first of all open up the cloak a bit. Show some of the metallic torso. Open a compartment. Take up the bottle in which I gather all my drinking.
Yep.
Water.
Yep.
And for now, just empty it. Put the bottle back in. Close that compartment. And I open another compartment where I place the ever wonderful gift I gained from a certain mushroom girl.
Oh, yeah.
A jar of magic mushrooms in a jar
Oh my.
that I am to keep hidden, to keep safe, and that I will know when to use them. I put that inside the compartment where it will be safe and hidden. Close the compartment, reattach my robe, my cloak and robe, and all the other capes and wonderful elements of clothing I use.
Yep.
And now I pick up the sword.
Yep.
I take
What do
from
the
within.
mushrooms do, if I may ask?
You haven't found
no
out
idea.
yet.
We don't know.
You
have
met
mysterious magical mushrooms. Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
There's magical mushroom that I'll know when to use them when the time is right.
Yep.
And who am
You
I
have-
to question a magical gifted mushrooms? I don't look those in the mouth.
From a small druid girl whose life you saved, basically. So nothing like weirder.
Very well. I take from within the compartments of my cloak, some pocket there. I pick out a tuning fork. Because when you hit blades, they actually vibrate a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, first I take and hold the blade like this. I smack the blade so that it gets some vibrations going. Well, it isn't made of metal, so it won't vibrate in a specific way, but
Yep.
utilize the tuning
No.
fork to try and get a similar tune, similar vibration.
Yeah.
Because
No, it's not made of like. It acts like more like a brittle, almost hollow substance. So it's very non-bendy, very rigid, but it's still not. It's almost impossible to break. It feels very like
But do I manage to make it vibrate?
very little because it's very
So I keep trying that, and holding the tuning fork to it, and keeping it to the this part of my skull to try and hear the sounds. Give me a moment, Dave. Someone is knocking at my door.
Yeah. So the rest of you're spending a night at a shrine run by Yawande's parent Kosato. Basically, you're in the middle of nowhere. You're at this at the side of a stone path from the big mansion site to the second biggest city in Reedhold, where the universities are, and like most of the quote-unquote civilization of Reedhold is hidden in or within the floating island of Gaishosai. And you can rest up or just like wander around the forest, because you're basically to the north of you start the endless mountainous areas of Reedhold. There's a lot of very old cliffs and very, very tall mountains, which have a lot of secrets, but they are also very dangerous, very rare. Very rarely do outsiders get to like adventuring inside the mountains, because there's like secret hidden traps and things. It's almost like the mountains themselves are like, no, you may not pass.
Yeah, I would think that Yewande is just like chilling with her family members around the shrine.
Yeah, you can just sit there, talk with Kosato and just like chill. That's fun.
Just ask about the comings and goings and what's been up lately and while I've been away and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people just actually in this location. There's most of the people going by here are going to Alman's family Phantom Fair mansion because they have some problem or other which they need solving. There's also some travelers going through here, merchants, and you get from the contacts that were basically smugglers. Because I mean, Reedhold is officially a part of the entire island realm, but unofficially it tries to be as independent as physically possible. But yeah, it's been peaceful, and the only real issues here has been like animal attacks, basically. So it's been very peaceful. And Kosato has heard some rumors about about the family issues with Inken and such, and he's kind of worried that he really doesn't want the families to fight.
Yep.
I think Tibi would probably just wander around in like the near vicinity, not going too far, but still like wander around, look for anything interesting.
Yeah, because all of the shrine areas are permitted to any traveler. You can walk around here and be pretty safe. I mean, you see like snakes and venom, like poison dart frogs and things. Just like tropical dangers, but you don't have any danger sense of the mountain itself. So you just walk around and you see signs of very ancient civilizations, very old weather-worn rocks, and some pillars that might have been border posts or signs of a building that has been here thousands of years ago. But
yeah,
Reedhold is a very, like, most of the ancient structures from like the most ancient civilizations here have been kept up, and for some reason, very little of Reed Hall's areas have been broken down by either church or natural disasters that happen, especially in the western and eastern provinces, a lot. They're very like earthquake active areas.
Yeah.
But here, because it's for some reason it's more safe, like the mountains protect it, or like I know the reason, but like usually people think that because the mountains keep dangers out, then that's the reason why you have so many more ruins in Reedhold. But you find fascinating like signs of old life and like even old like animals you see from a very, very big distance. You see a Blitzera, which just by counting the horns and the size would appear to be like hundreds of years old.
All very interesting.
Yes. Saxton.
Yes, so as I was saying, I tried to utilize the tuning fork to kind of try to hum, to reach some form of attunement with the sword. Or to tune to the magic, utilizing the magic I use, which is music. Or to tune to the sword to try to hear more of it.
Yep.
To kind of connect with it.
Yeah.
So
roll a perception check.
Right tune. What?
Perception. For now.
That is. Give me a second. Perception. That is. Okay, I get a +2 to that.
Yep.
So that is D20 plus 2. 12.
I mean, it's a very weird material. There's very little resonance because the material is very thick and very rigid. So you get the feeling that it's made into a very specific purpose, which seems to be harming things, because you can see the edge of the sword. It's so sharp that it's almost translucent. And the spirit whispering from the sword, it's very drowsy, very groggy, but you get the feeling that it's the spirit itself wants to harm things.
I test the edge by grabbing a leaf from a tree and dropping it over the blade.
Cuts right through.
Just by falling through it?
Yep.
Effortless cutting? Alright.
You get the feeling that even your non-organic body would be cut through. This thing would cut through even your non-organic body.
I see.
Words.
Another thing that I do is if it's groggy.
Yeah.
Grab
I mean,
and start.
Whisper. Yeah, sorry. Speak on.
I start playing a tune to it to wake it up. Give somebody to focus on.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Okay then.
Memories of this.
So you just start playing some random melody with your saxophone, and as it so happens, you can
with the ocarina, because
with the ocarina. Okay, you play some old tune, just like basically the Lumainvoir version of Greensleeves. And you play it for a while, and you start hearing this weird humming, and you realize that the sword is humming with you. Not in a language that you can understand, nor the right words, but it's still singing the same song.
It's humming to it.
Yes. Roll me an intelligence check. Actually, no, it doesn't. No, cancel that. You, from some recess of your mind, you realize that it's singing in the old tongue, like the language that was spoken in Reedhold before the church, before, like in the olden times, couple of millennia back when it was still
I'm going to go with an assumption
independent.
That it doesn't resemble Elven, Ignan, or basic Undercommon.
Nope. Its comparison would be you speak English. You're proficient in English. It doesn't mean that you can understand Anglo-Saxon.
True.
Yeah, like there might be some words that you might be able to guess, but
so I take up the some pen and paper with the other hand as I play the music. And as I listen to the words, as I keep playing it and as I keep singing, I write down what I hear.
Yep.
Like, more or less like on the you know how you have the
version,
languages, you have the
phonetic
sound
version. Yes.
Phonetics.
I think it's called phonetics.
Yeah. And a few like notes, as in what type of intonation musically.
Yep. Cool. And because I rolled a nat 20, you can ride with that. You get a very very clear translation. I mean, clear thing to write down. Clear notes.
Most of it looks like, if you look at it,
phonetic
it looks like a
symbols,
very
basically.
weird. If someone else were to look at it, it looks just as weird as if someone is writing music, but with a lot of weird markings. Essentially, just as memorizing moments.
Yep.
See what is said where.
Yep.
Is there a chance here that on account of the fact that Saxton is a bard and Saxton would be kind of familiar with all kinds of legends and tales and things? Based on that, would they have a chance? They. Would they have a sort of chance of figuring out what the language might be? Not necessarily to actually translate it, but do a history check to see if they can recognize the language.
Yeah, I was unclear about the old language. It's basically Reedhold was called, when it was an independent state, it was called Arundirisen, and that's basically the language of Arundirisen.
Can you write?
Okay, so it's like old Reedholdian.
Yep.
Can you write that somewhere for me so I can copy it down?
Yeah, I'm putting it on the Twitch chat and on our own chat.
Yes.
But it's basically a dead language in a way.
Officially, yes, but not
technically
really.
It's never died if it evolved into modern Reedholdian, but technically it's dead since it doesn't have any more speakers.
The modern language spoken in Reedhold is common, because the church enforces the use of common. Fact of the matter is that Reedholdians don't care. They still speak Arundirisen as their own hidden language. And for example, Almond knows the basics of Arundirisen language, and Yewande has advanced knowledge of how their language works.
Correction, Almond speaks it as a mother tongue natively.
Yes, sorry, that's what we
are. More than the basics.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, mixed up. But TB has basics. Yewande has actually as the second mother tongue because the clan would speak it, and yes, Almond has it as a native tongue. So when or if Saxton gets you the notes, then you will figure it out because you speak the language.
Can I make some kind of wild guess as to who, if any of our illustrious troop, would happen to know the language? Preferably one that's on Team Sneakwagon.
Yeah, I mean, you do know.
Team Sneakwagon.
Yes.
Have we ever discussed the fact that Almond grew up in Reedhold?
Well, Saxton knows that Almond's parents live in a very big mansion fortress in the middle of Reedhold's. In the middle of nowhere in Reedhold, so maybe.
Could I make some kind of history or knowledge local or some such to kind of remember that? Wait a minute, that family's been around here for X amount of centuries.
Yeah, roll me a history check.
Thank you. Give me a second. Check history. Intelligence. So that's 1d20.
Yep.
Plus 1. Let's see. 10.
10. You have heard the name Phantom Fur spoken, the family name Phantom Fur in the areas before, but whether or not it's an old family, you're unclear about the details. If it's an old family or not.
Mm-hmm. But they've been around for a while.
Probably because the mansion fortress looked very, very old.
Well,
so probably
it's kind of like saying that the Swedish royal family has been around for a while without knowing the exact amount of years.
Yes,
Kind of
pretty
that's
much.
what I'm aiming
Yep.
at, yeah.
Yep. But yeah, you get the notes, and then like when you stop playing, the blade again goes to sleep, and you get the feeling pretty much the same. Like you get the feeling that the blade tries to reach towards your mind, but there's something blocking it. And because you've been playing for a while and you've been feeling this gnawing sensation, you get the feeling that if you were made of like organics, if you were like human or elf or whatever, this blade might have a bigger effect on you.
Give me a second. Just reach mind.
Yeah, boy.
Yep.
Is this there's like 2 of these now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this is the other one, not the one that Kintsugi is carrying around.
Yeah.
Yep, they're
I have
different
the
ones.
talkative one. I have the talkative one.
Yep.
I have the very nice, well-behaved talkative one.
Yeah. I mean,
Basically,
Very
house
nice,
trained,
well-behaved, soul-devouring sword.
basically.
It's just a function.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I gently wrap it up in a cloth.
Yep.
Somewhere tied up, so I can put it back wherever it is, so it looks more decorative than actually useful.
Yep.
Because everyone can assume that Weird Bard has some decorative sword that they never use.
Because of course they would.
It can be a prop for, if you ever need to perform some sort of epic, for example.
Exactly.
You just have to watch out that you don't actually like touch anything with it because it will instantly break.
Yeah.
Oh, well, who knows?
Yeah. So you rest for the night at the shrine, and the second smaller building is like hammocks in floor, 4 layers. So you guys sleep in a hammock. It might be a weird sensation for some, but it is what it is. The 2 Warforged can just sit outside and roll their heads like 360 degrees with like lightning. There's like work like
Yeah, basically.
like what's the thing?
Lighthouse.
Lighthouse. That's the word.
Yeah. Kintsugi basically has like one eye, and as the head rotates, goes like bling, bling.
But yeah, next morning you divide yourself into stealth wagon and fancy wagon, and continue your ride down the stone path. You take maybe a short like distance between the 2 wagons, so as to not appear to be in the same group.
Kintsugi's gonna do a small thing before we depart. A tiny
Yep.
thing. Firstly, since I have 6 pieces right now, and there's currently basically four other teammates, everyone gets 1 piece. Kintsugi keeps 2 of the pieces. Just
Alright.
for security's sake. If trouble arises, I send this little fellow to find me with a little message. I'll understand it.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank
you.
Good.
Grab the little fellow, it disappears inside my robe, I put it inside a compartment.
Also, Saxon, I do have a task for you. Could
Well?
you babysit Crux for me?
Oh, both the blades.
Yes, since having, being an artifact, something that has been unearthed just a moment ago, I doubt it will pass that I have a bone sword with me as well.
Good point.
Well, as long as you don't have a bone to pick with the sword, that'll be fine. I'll take it.
I think the sword has a bone to pick with me. But
Oh yeah. You hear Crocs in your brain going, "You don't feed me, I'll be cranky with you."
I promise I'll get you some food later.
Yeah, you
Well,
always
it's
say that.
possible.
Shut up.
Someone's being sassy.
What do I hear when I get the sword in my hand?
The same crawling sensation from the sword called Crocs, and basically Crocs and the other sword are basically duplicates.
Yeah.
Like they have some weird markings that differentiate the blades. Maybe names written on the edge, but not in a language that you can understand.
Can I recognize the language?
You can try, yeah.
What?
Actually,
well,
I don't think I've given you the rest of you a chance to. I'm just gonna assume that unless otherwise told that Tibi's gonna see the blades.
Yeah, this is done.
If we're all
out in the
gathered
open
at the same
group,
place,
so-
then
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
so, yeah.
anyone can roll me a history check.
I might as well roll that.
why not?
Sure, why not? There it is.
6. I do not.
Well,
Oh, that's actually good.
17.
Yeah, 17 is.
Yep, nope.
That's a 16
No way.
for me.
16 for Kintsugi?
Yeah. 16 on history. Since I have a 0 and I rolled a 16.
Yep. Yeah. So 16's year one they had a 5.
I had a 6.
Yep.
12.
What did our history nerd almond roll?
12.
12. That's hey, you're getting better.
Reasonable.
Yes. So the writing is a combination of infernal with another language that you do not recognize, but it feels wrong. Like it just feels like you might go as far to call it unnatural. You can't read it, but it's yeah. It does have this non-Euclidean. You stare at it and you get the idea that some of the letters are non-Euclidean.
An awfully interesting sword.
It is, isn't it? The other blade has similar writings, but different letters.
Yeah, this one is named Crux. And I could say that they're well spoken. They talk a lot, trust me. They're usually very nice.
Moment. I take a piece of parchment. I open up the other blade as well. Are they carved into the blade, or do they just appear on the blade, kind of like printed?
Carved.
Okay. So I grab once again a piece of coal, put the paper to it, and
Yep. Yeah, do the whole thing.
I'll copy the text
Yep.
so I can get the writings. Yes,
Did the sword name itself, or did you name it?
It named itself.
Interesting.
We got
And
a
the
lot
other
of
one is-
information out of it.
Is the other one asleep?
The other one is quite a sleepyhead, yes.
Yeah.
Most
You-
likely they've not been fed as
In-
much as the other one.
Fact, well, yes, the other one is still asleep. Poor little thing is a little groggy still. Eventually, I hope they'll wake up. I'm interested to have a little chat.
You can talk with Crux. Trust me, they're very talkative.
Pork. Kintsugi knows that you need attunement to really speak with the sword.
Oh yeah, true. And currently I'm the one attuned to it. Aren't I?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Well,
I mean, Saxton Gallo is attuned to his own blade.
Mhm.
or at least in the process to tune into it.
Yep.
So
well.
long as Crux behaves nicely, let's try to reward them at some point. Something good. Do I-
Some of that little good.
Perhaps if you behave yourself, I don't know if you can hear me, but if you behave, I'll sing you a beautiful little ditty with all the gore and cutting and murdering that you can ever need. Alright?
Fox,
All the legends you want if you behave yourself.
actually, I'm gonna send this answer as a message to. Just a sec.
Uh-oh.
Crux can only.
Isn't that technically teasing with food at this point?
I'm not. I never promised him food. What I'm promising him is music with all the tasty images of killing.
Yeah, the more like you're literally teasing him with food at the moment.
If he,
I don't know. We don't really know.
Kill me.
We don't really know what kind of whether Crux would have a problem with images. Like, would that feed them a little, or would that just be having a very hungry person, and you just tell them about this feast, and then they're just gonna go no. It's a matter of whether it's a matter of perspective. It's because we don't know how Crux works.
That you don't. Yes.
And hey, there may be a bit of blood for you even.
I do believe that blood will be the one that's interesting for it at the moment.
We'll see.
I don't think they mind the ambience at all. Like, music is nice, but food is preferable. And
hold on, for I'll figure something out.
I wonder, would Crux like some fish or a deer maybe? Would that work?
Like, if you killed a deer with Crux, I think he would like it.
Oh, yep.
Ritual sacrifice?
We might have to fight a deer or something.
We'll have to see.
Yep.
Okay, yes, Crux is very hungry, so yeah, I do need to feed him at some point. Oh boy.
Yeah. So the two wagons continue on towards the destination of Gaishosai port. Speaking of this sort, I mean, because it's a day's distance away, so that's 80 kilometers or some such. You have time to, for a while, just sit in the carts and just talk with each other and talk about the swords and things. That's fine.
Casual chatting.
Yep. And when you travel, basically you travel south by southeast, and on your north side you can see the ginormous mountains of Reedhold. One of the greatest ones is Mount Koden, which is basically reaching towards the clouds. And you also know that there's a river called Ogama, which basically reaches straight through Reedhold. And even though officially Reedhold is a part of the church, it is an unofficial secret that the Impala clan from the Galoroth League, which is basically a mafia-style organization, they have transactions and sales and transports to Reedhold, because they've had a traditional cooperation deal since forever. And I mean, the Galoroth League does have harbors elsewhere too, not only in here. It's not all exclusive to Reedhold. But yeah, Gaishosai itself, when you get closer to afternoon or an evening or pre-evening, you see the great city of Gaishosai. It is built in the middle of the Ogama River Fork. Gaishosai is an artificial island with 4 very heavily built high arch bridges made out of stone, which are decorated with wood and reed and plants. Very few ships this far from the ocean have issues passing the arches to the various piers around the harbor city. It is said that should those bridges ever be broken, the city could be guided to the ocean as a friendly floating community where the ocean is cool, the culture beautiful, and mysterious magics keep the people safe while they all pretend ignorance to their past. Welcome to Gaishosai.
Ooh.
Now you take a little bit of distance between Stealth Cart and
Stealth Wagon and Fancy
Wagon and Stealth Wagon, yes. You feel a faint whiff of the ocean hanging in the air, mixed with the sweet natural scents of the ocean while you make your way on the sleet stone path from a shrine to one of the bridges leading to the city. The city itself seems to have some stone supports, but mostly wood refined with the ashi method, a local woodworking technique which is very secret and makes the wood so much thicker that it can be used even in weapons and almost as a substitute for stone.
Not bad.
The people of Reedhall have made very much effort into making this area of the world into a sort of tourist place. Many plants and countless bundles of reeds are adorning the street signs and corners of the very quaint 1 to 2 story buildings that make up for the most of the regular city. You ride towards over the bridge, which are so broad 10 people could walk side by side with room to spare. As most of the city makes much of its money from fishing and piers, there's very little need for outer walls because once again it's an artificial island. But then there's an inner city wall guarding the middle city, there's government buildings, archives and most of the university. But some of the university sticks out from the inner city walls on both sides. So it's basically a building on both sides of the inner walls. The streets are covered with a thin layer of stone, and so are some of the buildings. You hear people shouting, bands and bards playing traditional wooden percussive instruments and different sorts of flutes. And there's like I said, there's a lot of people, the locals. You get the sense of a tiny bit of a wobble because of the artificial island, but you can also see locals have used to this and have even a little bit of sea legs, while most of the tourists are like, whoa, like almost walking with a little bit of a drunkenness in their step because artificial island. And because Tibi and Johannes' cart is drawn by a blitzer, you do get space. Like people will move past this. Like they will give space to this ginormous magical rhino creature. While Stealth Wagon has a little bit of an issue, but I mean you do have, it's a horse and an elf, so those are big creatures. But the rest of the wagon is just being thought of as another trader coming here.
And also we have the advantage of having the fantasy wagon, which yes. I would presume that the people recognize, so that can play a part into why we are getting space and we are given way nicely.
Yep.
You would have Lupine clan sigil on the side, right?
Yes. I mean, you left it there.
Or coat of arms.
Yes.
Yep.
Some of the people do recognize the Lupine clan sigil.
We did actually ask them to change it.
Yeah, for us. Did we also ask them to do that?
No, I mean, stealth wagon.
Obviously, the stealth one doesn't have that because we need to be invisible. But the
we did ask them to change it to
the stealth one.
Oh yes, you don't have.
Oh, okay, right. Sorry, I completely.
Oh yeah, true.
Forgot about that.
I also forgot about that.
I mean, they'd still recognize that because it's a fairly powerful organization in its own right. Anyway,
and especially because Johannes' father's clan you manufacture things that you harvest from trees and caves and locations in the mountains, because Johannes' father's clan's mission has been to guard the mountains and live in balance with nature there. So you do know how to harvest enough to get like drinks, both alcoholic and not alcoholic, and other luxury items from the mountain sides and the mountain caves. So some people do recognize you from for example exquisite wines and things. So yeah, You might see people like seeing your family insignia and taking their cup of like wine or coffee or whatever and be like, hey!
Quick question about the fancy wagon.
Mhm.
Is Kintsugi sitting with the rest of the group in that wagon, or is Kintsugi put in a box?
I thought you had the box with the false, the fake Kintsugi with a box with a false.
We don't need the fake one because we're there to study this artifact instead of donating it like the first plan was.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're not
yes.
We
donating
just
it,
have it
we're
just in
just studying
case,
it.
like we have it just in case the compartment, but there's no fake one.
Yep.
But yeah, there's they're technically rusty since of the masquerade tattoo. Rusty, old, broken down Kintsugi just sitting idle in a box.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like,
So
they're going like, what have I gotten myself into?
because like TB really doesn't want any of her colleagues running interference with researching this weird artifact thing. You've kept Kintsugi hidden inside the lounging, like inside the cart.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
the two of you, the two other, if Yawanda and TB want to sit outside the wagon on the driver's seat, that's fine.
Yeah.
Actually, you would have Pennington driving the cart. Pennington is a very like hunched back driver person of this cart because working for Almond's father. So one of you can sit outside on the driver's seat with Pennington. But if you don't, then you can just sit inside the cart and just like sitting in, because it is a very hot and humid place to be in Reedhold. So inside the cart might be like just cooler and more
A bit comfier.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Yes, that word. But yeah, you ride towards the university. You get to the university, and most like normal buildings in the city show their wooden refined walls with some decorations of metal here and there. The university and other government buildings stick out with their different color surfaces. The university's walls are covered in stripes of azure, gold and ruby, made of some mineral dust and some sort of plaster. A decently sized crescent-shaped park surrounds the main door, which is 10 meters tall and has an engraving of 3 people surrounded by a gigantic raven-like bird. A man in thick armor with feather decorations and a scythe, a woman in a fighting cloak and a chakram, and a hairy man with 2 big pistol-like weapons. These are carved on the main gigantic walls. These are the 3 liberators who are legendary godlike people who are basically worshipped in Reedhold, because legend has it that they saved the world from the Illithids thousands of years ago, and they're very, very popular because it ties into the whole traditional culture of Arundiruisen. And well, you get to the university door, and yeah, actually, this is because looking at the time, this is a very good place for our 15-minute break.
Yep.
Break time!
Yes.
There we go. Break
y'all soon.
See y'all
time.
soon.
See you in a bit.
See ya. And we're live again.
And we're back.
Hello.
Back again.
Back.
Yes, that thing. Whoa. That's a quote from somewhere. I don't know. Maybe do like here's Johnny thing. I don't know. It works with Kintsugi because it's been dressed like a clown for a couple of times.
Yeah.
At this time, no clown Tsugi, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Unless something happens, then maybe. Or animatronic Kintsugi. That's also an option.
So, because the stealth wagon can take like a little bit, like you guys are a little faster because you have a faster animals, so you get to the university pretty much in the same time. And while the fancy card, I don't know, fancy wagon. I don't know why.
Fancy wagon
is
wagon.
Yes, stealthy wagon, but yeah. Fancy wagon is at the main doors with the 10-meter doors with the inscriptions of the 3 liberators. Stealth wagon, meanwhile, has also come to the crescent-shaped forest outside the university's main door. And Saxton and Almond, give me a perception check if you would.
30.
Yes.
1 second. There we go. Sorry, I had to find perception on my sheet.
Yep.
So that
16.
1d20. No, wait. 1d20 plus 2. That would be 14.
14 and 16. Okay. You do see at the side of the half circle formed university building, you see this very small, almost invisible, personnel only entrance for for personnel doi. So you can try to get yourself in there.
Okay.
And
is there any chance we would be wearing like commoner clothes, or we didn't actually pre-plan that. So
Almond has, but Saxton's cloak has the patches on the other side, but you can just turn the inverse and use that.
And this time I'm also using a much more plain mask.
Yes. So you get closer to the personnel door, and there's obviously a person guarding it. It's this very big, very big, bold, bodyguard type person with he's been dressed in a suit which is just a little bit too small, so he looks more bulky because his muscles almost burst through the cloth of the uniform.
Do I know what the uniforms look like? What the employee uniforms look like at the university?
I mean, you see this guard person having this sort of sleeveless monk shirt type deal with baggy pants. But that's just a guard uniform. Probably people inside, like students and other faculty, have some other uniform. But you haven't. You have done a couple gigs in Gaishusai, but you haven't been in the university.
Yeah.
Just close to a tavern close to the university where there's a lot of totally legally aged pupils. Okay.
So, shall we walk up to the man?
Yeah, I think so. So with that, I walk up to him, and I start speaking to him in Reed Hold In. I put on a local accent because I have that superpower because I'm a mastermind rogue.
Yes.
And I tell him, listen, man, I have this dude here for some heavy lifting. I'm kind of a gig worker, so I don't know how this works. Can you let us in so we can sign all the paperwork and all that?
What sort of gig have you been sent here to do?
Deliver this guy. And I nod back at Saxton.
So, some sort of prisoner? These guys are speaking...
A warehouse worker.
Okay.
You know,
so
you know what they do at the university. They study some sort of artifacts or whatever. This guy's supposed to help pick up the boxes the artifacts are in.
Indeed.
Okay then. Roll me a persuasion. Persuasion,
Certainly.
Do both of us need to do it or just him?
16 persuasion.
Yep. So the guard is just like he's the field of his like I forgot the amount of frags he's giving is none. He's just like okay, whatever. And he's a little bit pissed off that some university people have some heavy lifting and he wasn't used, but like whatever. He's just
I take a simple thing.
Bored.
I would like to shake the hand of someone who made our job so much easier. I offer him my hand. Shake it.
He's like, okay, he's just leaning to the wall and be like, whatever, and shakes your hand.
I shake his hand, and I place, and he feels that there's something about coin size touching his palm.
Oh. And then he looks at his palm and is like, you're all right. And he says in common, sort of a very thick common, you're all right. And he opens the door.
Thanks, pal. There might be, if you ever need more, you know who to ask.
Sure. This is the biggest paying job in the universe, of course. Well, sure. Yeah, so infiltration unit is inside, and Yewande and Tibi are you're riding your fancy cart drawn by this ginormous rhino like Blitzera to the main door, and you see a couple of you see one of the professors run towards you guys because your cart is big and Blitzera is almost bigger, and the professor person being dressed in a very smart pantsuit combination with like Eastern influences like broad sleeves and a specific sort of neckline cut and such, running towards you and like, hey, just stop here. What? Why? Who? And then this teacher person, Sasagawa, notices TBN. Oh, Professor Belmont, you're back.
Yes, I am. I wave at him enthusiastically, and say, Professor Agnella, I'm so happy to see you. It's been a long time. I'm here to I found a very exciting artifact on my travels. I will tell you all about it later, but I really have to get to studying it. So if you don't mind fetching a couple of workers who can help me carry the box that the artifact is in, and also I'm gonna need a private study for this.
Okay, you found something in the mountains?
Yes, it's very exciting, but I do have to make sure of a couple of things before I can tell you any more. So I would really like to get to work with it as soon as possible.
Yeah, of course. Roll persuasion.
Alrighty. Not my strong suit, so we'll see how this goes. Oh, 14.
Yeah, that's decent. Ignala is like, oh yeah, just give me you can, like, I'll show you where you can stop your carriage and leave your mount. I need to get Handa to handle the animal because he's so much better with these. recent new biology professor, you know.
Yes, yes.
And you get the idea that these two have a very, very warm connection. But this Ignala escorts escort your cart inside to the main hall of the university, and there's this bigger maintenance tunnel which leads through this very big round entrance hall thing with like stairs to the upper floors, and bigger and broader tunnels to different wings and such. But you're taken to a maintenance tunnel which leads to basically the backstage of the university study, which is also a studying research facility thing. And Sasagawa just gossips with you for a while when he's leading you inside. And by the way, stealth wagon people, do you try to just blend in, or do you want to do like this ninja stealth, sort of not be seen by anyone?
I suppose I can do the stealth ninja thing, but I am somewhat skeptical that Saxton could do the stealth ninja thing, because
I do the stealth ninja thing in the way that I walk in as if I own the place.
Okay.
I own the place, I have a reason to be here, and distract them from you. Can I give them some kind of advantage by the fact that they're so distracting?
Saxton also does have invisibility on spell list, so you can use that, or you can just use yourself as a distraction. So basically, you can give him an advantage.
And even in plain clothing, I still have kind of a shoot me side on it. On me, kind of.
Technically, Bardic Inspiration.
I might as well have a big target for a head.
Yep.
So is that about you said something about Bardic Inspiration?
I was saying, can I give him some kind of advantage?
Yeah, no, but Kintsugi said
I
something.
just know that you also have Bardic Inspiration if you want to use that.
Yep.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, but that's a performance thing. If kind of with my presence, as I
mean, Bardic Inspiration can also just be a presence thing, that you're so awesome that people around you work better.
Nice.
Right, anyway, but if they have the option to, or if they are able to kind of act as a distraction, then I suppose I'll roll stealth with advantage then.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Do.
Mostly since I clearly attract attention.
So that's a nat 20. Total result of 30 for stealth.
Yep.
Boy.
Okay.
Yep.
Very stealthy.
So, no one. Saxton walks for some steps, and you realize you haven't seen Almond in a while. Like, I mean, Almond can make his presence known, but.
Oh, I know they're somewhere. I don't need to know where they are. I know they're somewhere wherever I need them.
Yep.
They much like a background actor on stage. I don't need to know that they're there. I don't need to see them. I only need to know that they're there somewhere. The stagehand will always help you if needed.
Yep. Yeah. So.
We're gonna craft
Saxton...
a Shakespearean masterpiece together.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So actually, because. Fancy Wagon is parked inside the research side, the research main hall, which is also a big round, basically a parking circle. People come here, drop stuff down, and then go on away. And you can see several floors just open to this side, basically balconies from where you could even drop things to this parking circle area when they're just transported away or in. And there's a lot of hassling, people running around with papers and carrying different boxes and barrels and things, just like they're a big hassle of research and potential. This Professor Ignala just parks fancy wagon in a corner of the parking area, or the drop zone. Drop zone is the word I was looking for. And just stay here, and he starts running to find someone who looks like they could carry stuff. Saxton sees this male professor person with a smart cut cloth and broad sleeves running to us. Hey, you! What are you doing here?
Well, I can ask the same of you, my dear friend.
I'm working here. I'm one of the professors. You don't look like your personnel.
Well, perhaps the College of Bards would have sent you a letter if you were important enough to be mentioned, to be informed, now would they?
Oh!
Nani?
You would dare
Savage!
point yourself to, first of all, take that sausage-looking finger off of my face. Thank you very much. Now you listen here. You need to know your place. Or the College of Bards will take your career and drop it deeper than the abyss has limits.
Okay. Chill.
By the way.
Dude, chill. I was just asking because we need to keep an eye out on people who enter the facility, just to know who and what and where. Chill.
I'd advise you to do it with a little more humility in the future.
Okay.
Or
Let's try this again. Who are you and why are you here? They're very confused and very much on the defensive.
I would like to help at this point. I just show up out of somewhere, because I can do that at this stage, and I just go, wait, you don't know him? How can you not know him? This bard is the most famous performer on the entire island. This is. Did we come up with a fake name for you?
I'm Reek Jarek, the mightiest bard that has ever barded in the world.
Yes, it's Reek Javik. You've never heard of them? Are you serious? How is this even possible? I'm so sorry. You need to leave. This is insane. We were promised competent staff. This is absolutely unacceptable. And I just start escorting the staff member out of the premises, and I'm like, I'm so sorry, sir. It'll be all right. I'll get someone who actually knows how to do their job. And I could give a sort of very sharp look at the.
you pass this professor person who just back there, they're back against the wall, being like pale as parchment. You pass him and continue onwards down the hallway, and you get to the drop zone, and you see on the other side of the drop zone, you can see Tibi and Yewanda with their big carriage just waiting for someone.
Okay, so I actually have eyes on the fancy wagon team.
Yep.
All right. Also, apologies for the pronoun mix-up there. I'm not sure what your fake identity pronouns are, but I just realized I accidentally used he, him. Anyway.
It doesn't matter. The person doesn't exist, nor does he.
So I basically I just guide the guy out, and if I can kind of catch the eye of anyone on the fancy wagon team, I'm just gonna quickly glance at them and wink behind the staff member's back while I keep going I cannot believe this. We need to talk to your manager 5 minutes ago.
Oh, snap.
I mean, TB's personnel, she would know where the manager is. And you also,
I'm not actually trying to interact with Tibby in any way other than, just wink so that she knows we're in, and she knows that we're navigating in the local waters successfully so far.
I believe there's people in the depths of hell that know that we're here after that show.
Yep.
All of China knows you're here now.
Yeah. I've pretty much left like I let Kibi handle the staff pretty much. I'm trying to eye my surroundings and like check the premises in general, like see what's going on. Would there like it's a long reach, but if there would be anyone whom I could like ask about Inken or something like that, like other students or something.
First of all, yes, Mr. Manzo on the chat. That was a definite epic burn. Second, yeah, you look around for just like there's the big hall area, and you can see on the second floor, you can see a corner of something that would be akin to information desk or the sign for information desk, but you just see a part of it.
Yeah.
So you do know, like.
Yeah, would we actually, like, if we backtrack a bit to our, cover story, would we, like, include Inken in on it? Like, okay, Phoebe handles the staff and the like, but if I try to go and gather info, would I be like, hey, I need to see Inken, he is a part of this project we are on, and I need to update him or something. I would actually like at least believe that would be like quite an organic way to tie him into this, and yeah.
Yep. Sure. I mean, you can also, like, when you're walking towards you're here waiting after Sasako told you to wait. You can just hear, you can whisper to each other that, yeah, you need to ask someone for Inken.
Yeah.
And you see the...
Yeah, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, Professor Belmont needs to see him too, and I'm just gonna like name drop. So
dropping all
Yolanda is like, somewhat. Well, I don't actually remember if I tried to clean up at all. No, we actually decided that I specifically will not clean up myself.
Yeah.
So
we didn't clean up because we're just like
we just came out from the field.
Yeah.
Excavation.
Yeah. So I'm gonna like pretty much see my surroundings, and then I see the info desk, and I'm just gonna waltz there with my muddy boots and like dropping all kind of sand on the very polished, pretty floors while I'm walking, and then I'm like, is there any info on where Inken is? He's like, he's a part of this research project, and we need to get him updated and with like Professor Belmont.
Yeah. And it would actually be Inken Kazazeran.
Kazazeran, yeah.
What's the last name?
Kazazeran.
With a K or with a G at the beginning there?
With a hard K, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kazazeran.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's is that the same last name that I have?
Yes. I mean, your mother's side. Mother's side surname, because
Okay, so
anyways,
in terms of what the stealth team is doing, because our goal obviously is to find out what Inken's role is in anything and everything. I'm just gonna be I'm hoping that Saxton is following me at this point. I'm just escorting the staff member, and I'm just kind of going, okay, so Professor Kazazeran should be expecting us, and
actually he's not a professor.
What is he?
He's like master student. He's like
okay,
a graduate student.
Who's the? Yes. Do they have like or does he have like a thesis director or someone?
Yeah, I would believe that he has. Yeah. But we actually don't know who that is.
Yes, that depends on what's his biggest what his research is focused on, and that's something you really don't know.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
He's just here and handling artifact research.
So just to I'm sure, after throughoutly humiliating and burning the researcher person, you still took him with you.
I asked him.
That's the idea, is to, because I wanted to kind of escort him in the direction of wherever we can get closer to the relevant offices, because I would like to find a way into Inken's research cubicle or office or whatever he has.
See, the College of Bards asked me, happened to ask me, to instruct the young valedictorian Kaziseran, Inken, my first name. You see, their research is very important. I keep talking about the research as if I know about it, with conviction, but clearly without giving any details.
Yep.
Simply, yes, the ancient artifacts. After all, I would need to see first, before meeting them, I would like to have a look at their research in the archives, if possible. You see, it has been a while since I've visited this illustrious domain of knowledge.
So after completely making a big burn and humiliation out of the Professor Sasagawa, who came and demanded your identity, you took him with you as an escort.
Yes.
So so this Professor Ignella just I need to ask information about where this Kazasaran person is, because he's dumbstruckingly confused by your burn on him.
Well, it suffices for now to show us where the archived information on the students' research subjects are. We'll find our way from there. It is clearly rather pounded. Dear Professor, have you been...
Just okay. I don't know, take you to the library or whatever. You can ask around there, because he's a student. He's been looking at some specific books. You can find it out in the library.
Thank you.
And so Ignella starts leading you to the big library wing basically on the west side, sorry, east side. Meanwhile,
we have a tour guide.
Yes. Wanda. You go to the info desk and ask about Inken Kazasaran. The information desk person just checks their archive. There are actually a very thickly bearded dwarf with a very, very thick glasses and sort of a very archivy look to them, beard starting to gray, and just checking their archives and casting a couple of spells, and it's so this Inken Kazasaran has last been seen finishing up his studies about the Edlan myths in the library. So if he's in the university areas, he should be found where the Edlan myths are stashed. And then he gives you a specific row of books where you can just he gives you instructions to the library. Actually, you know where the library is. He still gives you instructions to the library. He gives you a specific coordinates in there.
Sure, thanks. I'll go look there. And then I start walking into that direction. So
you're just leaving me?
I'm actually gonna come up to you and it's okay, I got info on where Inken might be. So what are we gonna do now? If there's staff trying to organize you a space where you can research our artifact, are we gonna go there together, or are you gonna make sure that we have that space like as a headquarter, and Kintsugi can be there with you, or what do we do?
Yeah, I think it'd be smart if we get that study room for us first, so that we both know where it's located, and then we can go check out the library. Also, because I have access to spaces that you might not have.
True. Yeah, let's do that.
Yep.
As a side note, is anyone carrying Kintsugi at the moment?
No, Kintsugi is in the wagon as far as I know.
Yeah, we're waiting for staff that can carry the box, because assumed heavy box.
Yep.
Yeah, very heavy.
The staff to the carriers never showed up.
Well,
Or
No,
hasn't
because
arrived yet.
professor that we
Someone
sent out
hijacked the professor.
oh, I hope the professor you send out isn't the one that I commandeered.
actually he is.
Yes.
Oops, sorry.
But
Yeah,
after-
thank you.
after leading you guys to the after leading Stealth Wagon to the library, he returns back to the drop zone and is like, "Oh, I need to get some carriers," and then he like runs up and shouts for a couple of minutes, and then he comes down with this very weird-looking person. Arms are very long, skin looks very thick, and like for all intents and purposes, the person looks like a half troll. And Professor Ingela is like, sorry, it's I had a confrontation with a with a bard person, and whatever, it's not important. I have your research lab on third floor, and I have this tool vein to carry your stuff there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You've been of great help to us.
Yeah, sure. I need to get some coffee after the if you see this very bard looking for like a guy in a cloak and a mask with very very performer style thing and a fanboy, just avoid them because they're a little bit
Intense.
much intense. Yeah, that thing.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, okay, sure.
You know me, I get along with everyone, but I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, true. If you see that guy, just good luck. And
Nice.
then this Professor Ingela just changes to a very rough, growly-looking language, and after asking you what you want to carry, this Trollvein person, whose basically Trollveins are half trolls, kind of, sort of, but like they look like they have half humanoid, half troll blood. You open the carriage, and then there's the box with Kintsugi, and this Trollvein half troll person just takes the box and starts carrying to the location. Meanwhile, getting instructions in giant, in a very rough and growling sounding language. So Kintsugi is carried to the third floor, where there's an isolated research lab with a research slab. Hey.
Yes.
So a slab of
Important
stone,
slab.
basically. Yes, basically a very big table where it just drops the box. Bonk. And yeah, with Yowanda's information, you know that now you have the research lab, and it's like you get keys and a lock. You can just like lock it up if you want, because well, TB has enough reputation. You can just go in and commandeer a lab if there's any free.
So, do we get? I'm asking Yuande. Do we get Kintsugi out now, or do we just leave them here?
Can I eavesdrop on this conversation?
Yeah, it's just a wooden box. You hear muffled voices, but you still hear, and especially in the lab where there's no background hum.
Yeah, well, at least let's get Kintsugi out of the box first.
Yeah. Seems like a decent thing to do.
Yeah, so we get you out of the box. So I think the problem here we have is if we take Kintsugi with us when we go into the library, can we convince the staff? Yeah, like could we convince that? Yeah, we got this moving, and now we're like like taking statistics about the artifacts, like movement limits and trajectories and how it moves.
That might work like just in the general hallways of the university, but I don't think it'd make any sense for us to take something like that into a library.
Especially because the library is very, like, there's an absolute taboo on anything flammable or unstable, because there's a lot of burning things, flammable things in the university, so, or the library, but you could just, like, I don't know, use disguise self.
I could do that.
Kintsugi has this.
I do have the clown one.
Or a normal one.
Okay.
Or a normal one, you know.
Normal one might be better, but yeah.
Would you be allowed to just bring them into the building as long as they don't go in the library? Like, you could actually use that as an excuse. You know, this is what I'm researching. Therefore, it's more convenient for me to have them there so that I can compare notes, the books, and everything.
Yeah, I mean,
Kinda, but also, like, why not then just take the books out of the library?
That's true. Also,
True.
As we reach the library.
yeah, you get to the library. The library.
Wait, now they're in uniform. Most of these.
Yeah, you see the staff uniform is a very, like, pantsuit combination with very broad pant legs and very broad sleeves, and a double button thing on the breast with a small name tag.
Yes. I utilize minor illusion.
Yep.
To change the appearance of my clothes to resemble the outfit, and to give me a generic face for this Reykjavik fellow.
Yeah.
Am I able to do that? Or should it
Not
be
with
me?
minor illusion. Like, that's a lot for minor illusion. You should have major image.
Do that though.
Disguise self or major image, either works.
Yeah, I'll use major image on it.
Yep. So you cover yourself with major image to look like a like a human bard or something.
Yeah. Essentially a human bard, but with the local, outfit.
Yep.
Make it look like it. I quickly ask Element, is my face properly even?
Yeah, you're good.
Nose a little proper place. Good. Let's go.
if I need to disguise myself, I would assume that I need to take the form of an assistant, perhaps.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. It's easy for me to say that I'm just taking my assistants with me to help with carry capacity and height.
Yes.
Wonderful. So, let me actually get this to work somehow. What would be a good start? Oh, yeah, this would work. And with that, disguise self with the masquerade tattoo. Basically, the form just like folds on itself, slowly turning into a coalescent mass, and then forming into a sort of like a assistant outfit, like close to a doctor outfit, but like a lower tier.
Yep.
As we find a clerk in the library.
Yep. So you get to the library. It is a very the library is gigantic. Like, you try and count how many rows of books there are. Just because of depth perception, you start miscounting at some point. Like, there's tens of rows of books, and you see some gates barring certain areas of the library. Like, there, and then some like students wandering here and there, big tables where you can sit, bigger armchairs where you could just like sit comfortably and read a book, all sorts of books and scrolls of different sizes, both magical and non-magical, some shelves covered by a glass-like substance or just regular glass. Magical soft colored light bulbs on the walls giving this very soft, almost candle-like lighting everywhere, and you see literally dozens of warning signs in different languages. Nothing fiery allowed. And in addition to the normal,
Kentucky, no.
in addition to the normal library wing, then you see the normal information desk, and you see a smaller information desk beside a door which says Index Dracorum, and you know that Index Dracorum is basically a dimensional library guarded by dragons. So the fact that this university has a gate to the to the library of the dragons indicates that there's a lot of very high secret information.
Yeah, not just
here.
any dragons.
Yep. Index dragons are my settings, unique dragons, and they don't hoard physical things, they hoard knowledge. Literally any knowledge. Anywhere. In the planar, in any plane. They hoard everything.
So it's like the owl library keeper from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes. But
Basically,
like
yeah.
with dragons, so even more.
Yep.
Anyways, you go to the normal library desk, to normal library's information desk, where you see this old elf librarian.
I greet the Milelven.
Yep.
Hello, fellow elf. Hello,
Greetings.
dear employee. As you can notice, I would be requiring. Yes, I have been invited here to help young Incan Casaseran in their studies, and to do some evaluation upon their work. I would like to know the books they've been reading and the reading material they've been using, and if possible, to see any form of work they've already placed in the archives.
Old Inca name. Just give me a second, I'll check. And you see the elf starting to cast a spell and writing things on a parchment, and then he's like, can you show the books are on shelf 42, but I think Incan should be there at the moment, so you can just ask himself.
Oh boy!
And just because of dramatic timing, Tibi, Yewande, and Intsugi walk into the library and hear this specific thing.
Yewande freezes and is like, I'm gonna go and punch his face in.
Do you say this out loud?
No, I like just tense up and my face hardens. But yeah,
touch Yewande's arm and say, "Shall we go then? We know where we want to be going."
Yes, of course. Are we gonna go together, like join up with? Are everyone here now?
Yes.
Yep.
Basically, yes.
We're gonna go and gang up on him big time.
And
I swear, if you guys start destroying the books,
I'll try my best not to blow this library up. I can't make any promises.
I have a reputation to maintain as a history nerd who knows nothing about history, so I couldn't possibly do anything to the books because I need to pretend to read them every once in a while. So.
Yeah.
I also require whatever books you have on Arundirizan, on the Arundirizan language.
Of course, we do have the old nation's history roll one. There's like both the official and not so official history books. You can just check. We have literally meters of history from the old region. You just check him there.
Thank you. Now I turn to my assistant. Would you mind heading over to meet young Kazaseran and inform them of my arrival? I shall need to get the books while I'm at it.
Not at all.
We'll meet by row 42.
Yep.
Alright? I'll be with you in a moment.
Okay,
Yeah.
I head to row 42 and I stealth. I want to stay hidden so I can check out if this is actually the person that we're here to hunt. That is, if we're actually is the plan that we're going to keep going, or is this the cliffhanger for the week?
I mean,
I trip over my own feet. Apparently, I rolled a critical failure on the stealth. So
yeah. So you start walking very. You try and stealth towards like just walking from shadow to shadow, and yes, you trip and you bash you trip over something on the ground and knock down one of the bookshelves close by, and just feel the literal weight of a small area of a small historical area just bash into your head.
yes,
no damage.
History.
Well,
You feel
wide,
the weight of history. Just
how wide are the aisles of books? Because when you technically just hit the bookshelf on the opposite side, it kind of domino affected.
Yeah, I was worried about the domino effect.
No, I mean there's the shelves are sturdy enough, and there's enough space to you not only like half a dozen books on your head.
At least it wasn't me this time. Destroying the library.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been a while since you rolled a 1. Have you found
better dice,
better behaved dice, or?
Yeah, I still have the ones that I jailed. They're still here.
Okay.
I'll never use this again.
Yep. But yeah, you start making your way to. Oh, you wonder what to do.
Yeah, actually, before we go in properly, I'm gonna be like, we can, I would say the plan is to try to get Inken to come with us into the study room, and then we can go ham.
Yeah, I would agree with this plan. And please lock the door behind us. I could actually have a few minutes with him alone, if possible.
No need.
Oh, come on. He'd be still in one piece, well, mostly.
But the thing is that I want to be the one to get a minute with him.
Oh. I do understand that. I'm not getting into this business, though.
Yeah, we have some vanilla business to take care of.
Yeah, that is none of my concern, so go ham.
But yeah, I would say
Meanwhile,
that, yeah.
I dig myself out of the pile of books and start reorganizing.
Yeah. So when you're getting yourself, and the rest of you are just planning. Yewande, you talk with the others, and you're like.
Yeah,
Let's
get it.
You can hear soft steps coming towards you from between the rows of the books, and carrying a very thick leather book, walking from beyond the library, from between the library shelves. You can see the scraggly form of Inken walking towards you with this big book. No rush, no hurry on his steps. Haircut very cropped, very neatly cropped, and carrying the book and oh, welcome back, cousin, and whatever menagerie you have. Hopefully you have some information that I asked you for.
Oh yes, I have a lot. Regarding Professor Belmont's research project, we actually got some
Very interesting findings.
yeah, we would need to like get into like cracking open the thing, so we would need you to come too. And like reading between the lines, you will come with us now. 5 versus 1.
And this
we
is the
have a research lab.
this is the cliffhanger.
Boom!
Technically not 5 versus 1 because he has 2 librarians on his side. Because the tension between Inken and Yawande is, you can cut through it with a knife. And both the librarians, both the normal elf librarian and the Index Dragonborn on the other side are both like, what's happening here? The tension is palpable. And both the librarians are like, they're not interested in personal drama, they're interested in the fact that no one starts a fight in their library.
We're also interested in helping me reorganize the bookshelf.
Also that, yes. But you can see the Index Dragonborn just like waving his claw and some of the books just like hopping back on the shelf. But yeah, that's where we'll leave it off for now.
Oh
boy, next time's gonna be very interesting.
Very interesting.
Excellent.
Yep.
Yeah. So that happened. We will continue in 2 weeks. We'll continue with this shenanigans and see what happens. How much does Inken trample you, or vice versa?
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh,
How
yes.
much will the library burn? Oh wait.
No.
Nope. No burning.
Can't do that.
Index dragons might have access to higher level magics.
Especially
like
if they have a
yeah.
portal into that dimensional library. That, like, who knows what kind of hijinks they can summon up from there.
Yep.
So, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely. You wouldn't want to see a certain group from the what was it?
No, just no. You will
That
not see
lawful good
Physician.
group.
Just no. You will never see Physician on stream. I will freaking promise you that.
Oh come on!
We have this chaotic evil campaign going on with Kintsugi's player playing a very sadistic Warforged version of what's his face, Herbert West, the reanimator from the Cthulhu mythos. So all in all, a very lovely person.
Yeah, very.
But yeah,
Extremely lovable
yes,
and
true.
dangerous.
Yes, but yeah, in 2 weeks we'll continue with the emissaries and see what happens with Inken and the rest of the group. Next week we'll continue with the Finnish campaign, where information has been dropped and shenanigans have
Shenanigans,
ensued.
indeed.
Why do all my campaigns have shenanigans? Like,
It's a feature.
Yep.
Very much so.
I don't think there is a single campaign in the world that doesn't have some form of shenanigans or not.
Yes. Also, shenanigans is a very fun word.
It's fine.
Shenanigans and chicanery.
Chicanery. Oh my god, that's an amazing
But
word.
cookery.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the Uskonnolla people have just had lunch with one of the leading hierarchs on the island, and well, we'll see what that leads to, because someone made a great deal with someone else, but that fallout will happen next week, and in 2 weeks we will see what happens in the university library.
Yep.
Thanks, thanks people watching. If you have any feedback, you can reach me on Twitter and Facebook on Chronicles of Lumainvoir, or Twitter just Lumainvoir. The links are in the doodle. We have a YouTube channel and all that social media goodness, and just like share information about this campaign. And thanks, players. You had fun. You're awesome. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and may the dice ever roll in your favor.
See you in 2 weeks.
Bye bye.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.